One thing you might have noticed that I'm doing there, and even throughout the black and everything I do, is that I use 2 strands of yarn. You wonder, why do you use that, Rob? Very good question, and once again, you're so clever. The reason being, we want to make our rugs nice and lush. They're not really meant for high foot traffic, they're more decorative pieces of art, but you can still walk on them. So we like to put 2 strands in ours, which makes it just lush under your feet. Now let's carry on with that.
Keep getting bigger, the conversations keep getting better, and this is just the beginning. We're excited to announce
that's what happens when you touch the carpet grippers without realising.
To our new home at Substack. If you're already a supporter, your subscription will be moved over.
That is the first 2 rolls of our yellowy, goldy, orange, or whatever colour that's supposed to be. Now, it's time to cake up these 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have the not black or white colour. You tell me what colour this is. Not looking bad so far, eh? So, we've got that on now. We just need to trim around. I'll show you how I do it. Right, so this has been nicely separated, and we've had a nice little hoover. Now we're going to finish it off and put the white on. Mwah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X proudly brings to you the tufted rug. Now, one more job for today. We have to get the glue and put it on the backing, just so it sticks nice and firm. So what we need to do now is the final stage of today. We need to put this glue onto the back of that rug. So when it's dry tomorrow, we can spray our backing on, our twill tape, and then we can get into carving. So let me show you how we do this right now. So, what we need to do, we need to get our Evo Stick flooring adhesive open. You can have other ones, I've tried a few other things, but this is the one that's most convenient to me, because I live over the road from a Wickes, so it's right there. And yeah, have a look at that. Basically, most of that now has got to cover that. So let's do it. And it's quite messy as well. So my storing cupboard is now also the thing that catches all the adhesive, because it can get quite messy. Thankfully, it's almost machine washable. So you get this wet sponge and you wipe it off. But let's do it. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. day one of our tufting guide. Let's get that off there. It's complete. What we need to do now, actually, take a good look at that. See what you think. We just got to wait now until tomorrow. Then this should be dry. Let's see. And here is what it looks like from this side. Not bad, eh? Luna and Lola seem to like it. But now we've got to take this into the other room, put the backing on, and then we'll do the carving and the trimming later. Let's do this. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of every little age, now we're on the backing phase. Before we do the backing, we've got to glue the cloth to that. Very easy way to do this. If you noticed on the frame just, I've made a couple of lines. So what I've got to do is very simple. Cut all the way to where we tufted on each of the lines. So that's all done now. We have separated into little parts which make it easier for gluing. And now we have to use my trusty glue gun. As you can see, I've already set up my extension cord over there nice and safe. But what we've got to do now, we've got to glue each of these pieces while gently making sure the yarn sticks out like that. You have to gently put that there and glue it down. Same with that piece, and all the way around. So, if you give me just a little minute, I can have this done. And that is all nice and glued down now. If you can see, the trick is you don't want to pull too far inside, because you do that, it pulls the rug in with it, and you don't want to do that. So you want to gently glue each section and keep it as nice and as flat as you can, while making sure all the fibre and all the yarn hangs over without touching this cloth. So that's nicely done now. Quite proud of it, if I'm honest. Now we've got to go to the next stage, which is the backing. This is so you can have your rugs on the floor and they're not going to slip anywhere, because we use non-slip backing. Very simple process. What you do for this, you just go over the back of your rug, hopefully somewhere where you're not going to have too much waste. That is what the bottom of your rug is going to look like. But first we need to trim around. We've got to make sure this sticks to this. To do that, we got these things. Contact adhesive. This backing, the stuck, is very, very simple. Probably the most simple part of the entire process. What you need to do, roughly go halfway. And because this is a symmetrical rug, easy peasy lemon squeezy Japanesey, touch my kneesy. So what we do, if you hear any pause, you must excuse my Luna Whisker. She's running around because she thinks someone's coming and they're not. Typical Frenchy behaviour. But what we do now, we take our floor tack, which is spray contact adhesive. This is brand new, and this I was about to tell you, but I'll tell you at the end for all the total costs. We need to spray everywhere that we are going to put this. And then you want to go back exactly the way that you came. Oh, you know when you've got it right, because when you put it back down, it's freezing cold. So then you use a can roll it in there nice, because it is instant contact adhesive, and the word instant is very true. And then we can do the second half. It's just a very simple reversed process. Done. Now we got the next bit, twill tape. I'll show you. And here is twill tape. And that is what it looks like twilled up. Not too bad, wouldn't you agree? Now, the almost final stages. We have to trim and we have to carve, just to give it all the effects it needs to be a perfect looking rug. To do that, we need a few tools. This is this thing, a trimmer. Because what we're going to do, we're going to give it one big massive coat over, and then using both this and these, we're going to separate the colours, and we're going to make everything pop on this rug. Hold on tight and watch this. Finishing touches now. We've got to just rake all the loose fibres out, just to give it that little extra pop, just like that, you see, and that's all the stuff that comes out of there. For each rug I've been doing, this is my 18th rug I've done now in my career, and I've been keeping all these spare loose bits of yarn, because one of my future projects, I'm going to make a pillar. And I've already got all the stuff inside that can keep it nice and fluffy. And anyway, should we get to the moment that you've all been waiting for? The costs and the price. Let's start from the start, shall we? The cloth that I use, the primary tufting cloth. I buy in rolls 5 meters by 1 meter. That means I can use 5 frames worth with what I buy there, and that comes up to £36. So that roughly works out at about £9 per cloth. So there's 9. Then we come to the yarn that we've used. If you remember, I mentioned earlier that we used 6.5 rolls of black, we used 4 rolls of orange, yellow, red, gold, whatever that is, and we used half a roll of white. So we got 6.5, 7 and 4. We used 11 rolls. These were all varying prices. Some of the black cost me £1.25, but this colour, it cost £3.50 a roll. So if we have 4 of those rolls, there's £14 just for that colour. Let's just say it was £2 for that colour and that colour, and that was 7 rolls. So there's £14 plus £14, 28. So we're already at £37 for how much it cost me to make these. It was just for the cloth and for the yarn. Then we've got the contact adhesive that you saw me use. I used about half a can, and it cost £5. So there's another £2 to go to our 36. We're at £38.50. All the other little tools and stuff that you see used, they roughly come up to about anything up to about a £5. So let's just add a £5 to that. So now we're at £43.50 just to make it. probably could be a bit dearer, probably could be a bit more, because if you include the twill tape as well, that's an extra £3, so there's £46.50. Let's just round it up. This costs £50 to make. So you can understand now why people charge what they do for their rugs. Well, this would be a £100 rug. Because if it costs £50 to make it, and then there's 2 days of labour, I'm pretty undercharging myself, but I enjoy the craft that I'm doing. So yes, this costs roughly £50 to make, and it will cost about £100 to buy from me. But that's not what I'm doing with this one. As we're in the Christmas spirit and I'm feeling charitable, I'd like to give the dingle thing away, because I'm sure you've all guessed by now, I'm a fan of their rivals, West Bromwich Albion. Come on the baggies, down the dingles. Well, I'm not actually giving it away, but what I am going to do, I am going to start a raffle for it, because I know I've got quite a bit of interest and we are in the Christmas spirit. So you're not going to pay £100 for this rug. What you are going to do is pay £2 a ticket for a raffle. We'll get sorted on my details pretty soon, but if you're interested, give me a comment down below and say, get me in there. But from me to you, from an Albion fan to any Wolves fans watching this, hey, I might have given you a bit of stick in this video, but just know that we're all Black Country together. Anyway, this was my little rug tufting vlog, my little rug making 101, a little R2 video, and a little bit of how we do things, why we do it, and how everything's priced. I'll see you later, my little chickens. In a bit, Mash.